Welcome back to my channel. My name is Blair if you're new here, and today we're going to do a monthly reset for March. So the way I typically do this is I always set up my budget, my debt trackers, kind of like a video planner for the month. And then what else? Oh, my physical calendar for work to keep track of my sales. Like a photo dump where I try to take all the pictures off of my phone. This is something I started this year, just so my phone doesn't get bogged down with so many pictures all the time. So I just figured I'd offload them to my computer, and then I can save them to an external hard drive if need be. And then I always try to complete like 2 to 3 tasks that like I've been planning on doing, things throughout the month that I just haven't gotten to, or things that need to be done. So to get started, we're going to do the stuff on the computer digitally. I have my computer here, so I'll record my screen so I can kind of show you what I'm doing. And then of course I got my cold coffee. All right, so let's get started on the computer. So I think what we'll do is start with the video tracker. So I was doing a new tab. We're gonna rename this March. And I'm gonna like apologize. I know that I didn't post a video on Wednesday like I normally do. I've just been feeling a little under the weather, kind of like sick, and then some mental things going on. So I just needed to take a little break. I had gotten so far ahead and I thought I'd be fine to take a few days, and then I ended up going longer than I thought. And I'm sure you noticed in my Super Bowl video, like I didn't talk at all in that video. I was definitely not feeling great that day, but I still wanted to show you what I was making. So just want to put that out there. But anyway, back to this. And speaking of videos, I mean, if you have some ideas or things that you do want to see from me, I would appreciate it if you'd like comment them down below, because I feel like to an extent I'm doing a lot of repeat videos every month. So I don't know if that's part of my issue, is that I'm kind of getting bored with it myself, but I'm also just filming the things that I'm doing. So I may just need some ideas from you guys of what you want to see so I can fill them in. Obviously there's a few things I'll be doing in March. But I just thought I'd ask and put it out there if there's something you want to see. So now that we've got pretty much most of this cleared out, I need to figure out, let me open the calendar up. So as you know, I basically film every Wednesday and Sunday is my goal. Oh, how did I end up in April? Okay, so we've got March. And I apologize if you can hear the street sounds. Honestly, I thought it'd be a little quieter. So anyway, this part's done. So I'm gonna put this back down and leave it on this month. And then the second thing we're gonna do is my digital calendar anyway, while I have this up in front of me. Basically I go through and I put in like my work schedule, primarily because that does like alternate every other week. And sometimes it gets confusing, so it helps if I have it in my phone. Like, well, I put it in here, but it obviously goes to my phone. But that way, like if I try to make plans with somebody when I'm out, at least I have an idea of what I'm working. So, and there are a few slightly different things going into the first week, because I did volunteer to work a little bit earlier schedule. I would have volunteered to do more, but I really, honestly, didn't want to put myself in a situation where I was getting stressed because I had less time in the morning. And some people, my friends find it funny, I guess, the fact that I do get up so early in the morning. But at the same time, I really appreciate having my 2.5 hours before work starts. I don't like having to like get up and immediately go function, because my job does entail me to be on the phone and speaking with customers all day long, that if I'm half asleep, my brain just doesn't work. And so having a nice slow morning where I can kind of in a way relax and just build into it has always been a much better thing for me. So that is my preference, and that's what I would like to stick with. So that is done. So that's the next thing off my list. So we can go ahead and close this. All right, so budget and debt trackers are next. And I've shown this, but I keep it all in a singular spreadsheet. And then I have like, you know, tabs for monthly for one budget to debt tracker, and then like other things that are in here, like my sinking funds and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and add at least 2 new sheets. So we're going to have March budget, and then this one will be March debt tracker. All right, and then the next thing we need to do is change up the tables. I don't really go in depth on my budget because it's honestly literally the same thing pretty much every month. The only difference is, you know, obviously based on what I'm getting paid, how much extra I'm going to be putting towards my debt. But it doesn't really fluctuate a lot, because really anything extra I got, really just I throw it into that debt simply because I'm trying to get out of debt, which we're making great progress. But I still have a little ways to go on it. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but originally when I did my mortgage, and I have like my property taxes, insurance and stuff escrowed into that account, they would check it once a year to see if I was short or over, and then, you know, balance out my mortgage payment based on that. But ever since I refinanced it this past year, they literally, every time they pay out a bill, they reevaluate it then. So my mortgage payment has been like literally fluctuating every few months based on what they're paying out, which is kind of annoying because it's easier to budget when you know exactly what your mortgage is going to be. But I wonder if any of you have noticed that at all, like if your mortgages are doing the same thing, or if it's just the company I happen to be with. And then one other thing I did want to talk about is health habits. So I set goals obviously at the beginning of every year, which I talked about in a video I did back in the end of December. And one of my goals was to get more consistent with working out. However, what I've been doing is just simply not working well. And I'm trying to figure out good ways to do that. Like in January, I tried to really put my focus on the eating part, because I mean, it just happens. You go into the holidays and then you're like eating sweets, and I feel like I tend to gravitate more towards carb foods because it's colder and it's more comforty, which, you know, it's fine for a season, but you got to be cautious about it. So my January focus was more on vegetables. Like my goal was vegetables with at least 1 meal every day. I'm usually pretty good about balancing it out, but like I said, I fell off the bandwagon and kind of went heavy on carbs for a while. So I've been doing really good with that, like definitely balancing, you know, vegetables with at least 1 meal. Most of the time it's about 2 meals a day, which makes sense. But my big problem right now that I really feel like I need to focus on is the whole workout consistency. I think I'm putting too much pressure on myself or trying to schedule too much in. Because when summer hits, I have no problem at all working out in the morning. Like I love it because it's warm, it's sunny out. I'm more energetic, so I just kind of knock it out before work, so I'm more consistent then. But in these winter months, I just haven't been up to it in the morning, and then by the time I get off work, I'm just so mentally drained that I don't want to do it either. And so I've been kind of slacking on it, but like I try to schedule it in 4 days out of the week, and it's just not working. I think the only thing that has been working is taking the dog for walks once a week, because he enjoys it, I enjoy it, you know, it gets us out of the house. And so I think what I'm going to try to do to put my focus on it is scale it back a little bit. Maybe say, okay, I need to work out 3 times this week. Instead of trying to schedule it for which day, just say 3 times. And then when I'm feeling it, do something. Whether it's taking the dog for a walk at the park or doing cardio on my treadmill or doing some strength training. But I have to figure out a way to kind of slowly work my way up. So I'm thinking for the month of March, I might just say, okay, 3 times a week, I need to move my body. I don't care what it is. I got to move it and get consistent with that. And then hopefully by the time April rolls around, I can bump that up to like 4 days a week. And then hopefully it'll just start to become more of a habit and consistency will follow. So for tasks that I kind of mentioned, one was that I needed to get a package mailed to my mom that I've been putting off for probably a month and a half at this point. So I didn't get any clips of it, but I did go do that this morning, so that has been taken care of. And then the other 2 tasks that I needed to do was to wash the rug at the back door. Extremely dirty, so that's going to be washed and dried so I can get it back down. And then I don't do it often because I don't typically wear shoes in the house, and I don't really have guests that wear shoes in my house, but I needed to Swiffer the floor in at least the dining room and the kitchen, the main traffic areas. So I did do all of that, and clips have been inserted as I was talking about it, but those things are done. So those were the tasks that I wanted to accomplish before the month was over. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. So this is how I reset. I got to look at the financial, my creative video stuff. I wanted to, like I said, talk about a health habit, which is not something I normally do, but I think going forward, it's something I need to do. One, for accountability. And it also puts me into a mindset where I'm focused on it for the month, but it also helps me adjust what needs to be adjusted for my own health. So, but I hope you enjoyed. Maybe you got some ideas of how you can reset and get ready for March as well. And as always, I hope everybody has a blessed day.